Hi everyone. So myself and Ushan here to discuss something very interesting today as well, because in one of our previous videos we discussed about the return on investment of the paraplanning and outsourcing businesses in the financial planning industry. And as you all know, return comes with a risk, isn't it? Isn't it, Ushan?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so it is a very correlated subject that we must talk about, and today we are going to talk about the risks of offshoring or risk of outsourcing to offshore. So what do you think about the topic, Kushan?
Yeah, I think this is now we are seeing a rapid increase in firms, especially engaging in outsourcing relationships and even specifically offshore outsourcing, right? Because of the cost factor, right? So we are seeing that's like gradually increasing on a day-on-day basis. So it's important for businesses to know, to manage the risk as well.
Yeah.
Because there's yeah. if you don't manage your risk properly, you're going for a disaster.
Yes. Just like you enter into the reward scheme and you get the rewards out of the offshore outsourcing, right? You are entitled to certain level of risks which you need to manage with your offshore partners or whoever the freelancers that you are working with as well.
Exactly.
So first thing is, I think you need to assess risk. That is the first step of any business. We do assess risk. Whatever the thing that we do in life also, it's always better to take some calculated risks rather than throwing yourself up to a huge risk where you can even it's like throwing your life at something which is not valuable.
Yep.
Right? So assessing risk. When it comes to the assessing risk topic, what comes to your mind and what are the key factors that we need to identify in assessing risks?
Yeah, I think especially let's put ourselves as the onshore business, right? So specifically a few things what we need to look for when it comes to the risk factor. I would say first thing is language barriers.
Yeah.
Right? So the way of you communicate might differ from how your offshore partner communicates. So if you're not in sync, it's not going to work. The relationship is not going to go well. Right? So that's one important thing what you first need to factor. Second being the cultural difference. Again, we know every country has their own cultures and the way how they do things and all. So this also need to sync to some extent.
Yeah.
It's not like both of you all have to be in the same boat, but to some extent it has to sync. You can't be like you can't be completely opposite, right? So I think these are like couple of important things what you need to consider as well.
So it's surprising to hear that language barrier and cultural barrier from you first. I mean, that was the priority that you gave, right? Because I feel someone who is seeking looking at these risk or assessing the industry, they will first look at the data security.
Yep.
Right? But definitely the cultural barrier, and we need to talk about cultural barrier and also the
For me, how I see it is like a long-term relationship. For me, a relationship to go well, we need to be able to communicate well. We need to be able to sync well, right? So that's why I think I put that first. But yes, you are right.
Yeah. So the data security and the intellectual property security, right, is also one of the key areas that even our clients, our advisors, and also our partners are working on, and we are working on as well.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yes.
So now you assess the risk through these 4 criterias or 5 criterias, and then what do you do to manage this risk, and how can you mitigate this?
Yeah, specifically I would say all this language, cultural, those things you need to directly communicate with your partner and tell them this is what we really want, and so those things. But leaving those things aside, on coming to the more important ones like the data security, compliance, and those kind of stuff, I think as an organization you need to have your own risk management plan. Right, so you need to have your own protocol, right? So having this plan help you to prevent risk and also have contingency plans in place for risk mitigation, right? So this will actually help you to avoid these risks, and even you can't completely get rid of it. There's still the risk is involved, but to keep it to a minimal, I would say, right? So having these plans and having the contingencies in place, and even having a risk officer, right, to oversee all these risk related functions, I would say that will actually help
That's true. That's true. Having a risk officer, a separate role, is something, some people might think, it's costly to have a risk officer, because that person might not add value directly to the operations, right? That's what everyone thinks. But actually, in today's world, risk officer is a direct value-adding person, because majority of the clients or majority of the advisors, majority of the financial planning firms, they require the least risk, and they require the most secured partners to partner up with. And if you have the risk officer role, and if you are secured, and if you can show them, now that's a sales point as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can use that as a down point,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then now you have you think now you created a role of the risk officer, and you have the plan of mitigating your risk as well, right? And when you are choosing, imagine that you are a financial planning firm, right? And you are choosing an offshore partner for paraplanning or financial planning administration or any other consultancy related role, something around your business, right? What are the key factors related to risk which you are looking for, and how to choose that partner, how to choose the best partner?
Yeah, that's a really good question, right? So once we have the base is we identifying the risk, and we having all our protocols first, right? So once we have that base, now we can start looking for a partner to fit into our risk management strategies and our line of things, right? So the way to take it, I would say it's crucial. It's crucial to find the right partner, right? So now, because especially in today's world, people can say 101 things, right? So it's like you can say so many things, especially on social media and all those stuff, right? So it's important you do your due diligence, right, to really see if they deliver what they say, right? So evaluating their capabilities, evaluating their past performance, and also it's always good to reference. Speak to a few of their clients to get some reference from them. So these ways you can actually ensure that you're signing up for a right relationship, right? Rather than just you're just jumping in, right? So I think these are the few things what you actually have to do, right? The due diligence is very, very important, right? Before you get into any serious business.
Yeah, when I hear the due diligence part of it, I remembered 5 to 10 years back, we only had this KYC in our banking systems as well. It was KYC, which is called know your customer, and then all of a sudden, before 5 years back, it came as KYCC, and know your customer's customer, right? So for you to understand someone properly, it says you need to understand 5 people around you. Just like that, you need to understand your customer or your partner, and also the people around them, whether they have the integrity, they can do what they say, and also they are secure just like they are saying it, right?
Yes.
So after getting into this relationship, right, now let's say within the relationship you see again these cultural differences and also the barriers that you are seeking of. So what kind of actions that you can take to manage that?
Yeah, I would say again this who, as a financial planner, you actually know it, right? The answer is right there in front of you, right? So it's not like when we talk to clients and all those stuff, right? It's not like you record things verbally. You need to have a written document, right? What it has to be written, right? Whatever written, it's what's had value, right? It's not only you're discussing with your offshore partner on certain terms, certain conditions, certain all those stuff. So it's always good to have a contract. All right. So like a clear contract, clear document in place where you can negotiate the terms, agree on KPIs, even dispute resolution process, even the risk mitigation process. All those things need to be properly documented, so everyone's on the same page. And when something happens, so you don't have to go back and forth because you have already clearly documented everything. You can always go back to that. Right. So I think the contract negotiation and management is very, very important as the next part of the process.
Yeah, so just like you said, the documentation part is at most important, and we have.
And we always miss it sometimes. You don't have to go through that hassle process of preparing document.
Yeah.
Even sometimes there's cost involved.
Yeah.
Legal fees involved. Everyone wants the shortcut, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But it's very, very important.
Yeah, because if you need to tick all these boxes, it takes time, Usha,
Yes.
right? Because now you as a financial planning practice, now you need to get your things done, right? You need to get the SOAs going, and
Yeah.
you need to send all the other client communications, and you need a partner to partner up,
Yeah.
and you are in a urgency, I would say. But again, if you think it has urgency and you just come up with a partnership which is risky and dangerous for your business, ultimately you will
You're
lose.
done.
Yeah, you will lose everything, and you might even lose your license.
Yes.
Right? And there are so many other legal consequences that can happen to you.
Yeah.
Right? Because of that, I think it's always better to be patient at the first rather than
Regretting later.
regretting later.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So just like Kushan said, it's very much important as a financial planning practice, and also if you are a paraplanning firm, for both of you to understand the risk elements of the risk that that you are dealing with within the industry, and get into the right contract, and also have the right compliance tick boxes ticked before the partnership is before you engage in any partnership. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.